Picture this. You walk into your garage, see your car sitting there, and suddenly wonder, what happens if the company that built it simply vanishes? It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. While glossy commercials and shiny auto show reveals suggest confidence, behind the scenes many automakers are drowning in losses, struggling with outdated lineups, or cutting corners just to survive. In today's countdown, we'll uncover 13 car brands facing very real survival threats, from household names that once ruled American roads to ambitious startups already on life support. For current owners, these struggles can mean falling resale values, fewer dealerships, and in the worst cases, cars that are nearly impossible to service. Let's get started. Number the 13th of May surprise you. 13. Buick, the identity crisis. Buick is still alive, but barely recognizable compared to its glory days. In 2024, sales in the U.S. were up 16% to about 183,000 units, but that's a tiny number compared to the millions sold by Toyota or Honda. Buick's real problem is that it doesn't know what it wants to be. Too upscale for Chevy, but nowhere near Cadillac's luxury prestige. Most of its lineup gets dismissed as rebadged General Motors clones. Add in lingering issues on models like the Encore, and buyers see weaker reliability with no real premium payoff. For owners, that means lower resale values and an uncertain place for Buick under GM's future U.S. strategy. And if Buick feels shaky, wait until you hear about another luxury challenger struggling to gain trust. 12. Genesis, a luxury brand with trust issues. Genesis stormed into the market with slick styling and high-tech features at competitive prices, managing over 75,000 U.S. sales in 2024. But luxury is about more than features, it's about reputation. And many buyers still see Genesis as a Hyundai in disguise. That perception was made worse by the massive 2022 recall of nearly 95,000 cars for fuel pump and reliability issues. In the luxury game, one major trust hit can drive buyers away permanently. As a result, Genesis cars tend to depreciate quickly, leaving current owners in a tough spot. But if Genesis is fighting for legitimacy, number 11 shows what happens when a once legendary brand simply fades away. 11. Lincoln, the prestige that faded. Lincoln was once the gold standard of American luxury. Today, it's struggling just to stay relevant. Reports of leaking suspensions, faulty electronics, and unreliable drivetrains paint a grim picture. Consumer Reports consistently ranks Lincoln near the bottom in quality. Younger buyers aren't connecting with the brand, dealerships are shrinking, and the vehicles don't measure up to their German or Japanese rivals. The result? Owners face higher repair costs and weaker resale values, classic warning signs of a brand fading into obscurity. Coming up next, number 10 is beautiful to look at, but owning one can be a nightmare. 10. Alfa Romeo, gorgeous but fragile. Alfa Romeo has always sold romance, sleek styling, sharp handling, and a heritage of racing flair. But the numbers don't lie. It consistently scores near the bottom of reliability rankings. Owners report electrical failures, jerky transmissions, and disappointing interior durability. This means the Giulia and Stevio often need steep discounts just to attract buyers, which tanks used values. Unless Alfa can combine its emotional appeal with real engineering dependability, owners will continue paying the price for its flaws. And speaking of fading passion, number 9 is a brand that once made headlines in rally racing, but now risks vanishing altogether. 9. Mitsubishi, the long goodbye. Mitsubishi was once a rallying powerhouse, but those days are long gone. The brand admitted to fuel economy fraud back in 2016, further eroding consumer trust. Today, the lineup is threadbare. The Mirage has disappeared, leaving just 3 aging SUVs: the Outlander, Eclipse Cross, and Outlander Sport. Transmission problems, subpar build quality, and outdated tech plague the lineup. Despite Nissan's partial ownership, Mitsubishi feels less like a brand preparing for revival and more like one coasting toward irrelevance. For buyers, that means shaky resale values and long-term uncertainty. But if you think Mitsubishi has it bad, number 8 and number 7 prove that even luxury names aren't immune to collapse. 8 and 7. Maserati and Jaguar, luxury in collapse. 2 once glamorous luxury brands are now in crisis. Maserati's global sales dropped 57% in 2024, from 26,600 units to just 11,300. Add in a stiff 25% U.S. import tariff, and its already high sticker prices become nearly impossible to justify against Porsche or BMW. Stellantis, its parent company, is openly reviewing Maserati's future, raising real doubts about its survival. Jaguar, meanwhile, is undergoing one of the riskiest transformations in the industry. Nearly its entire lineup, the Z, XF, F-Type, and more, has been discontinued in the US, leaving dealers with almost nothing to sell. Jaguar is betting everything on an ultra-luxury EV relaunch after 2025. But until then, it's facing record low sales, including a jaw-dropping 97.5% drop in Europe. For current owners, confidence and resale value are disappearing fast. Next up, number 6 once promised to rival BMW and Lexus, but today it's little more than a fading badge. 6. Infiniti, a brand without direction. Infiniti once positioned itself as a real alternative to Lexus and BMW. Today, it feels more like a shadow of Nissan. Sales in the US have plummeted to just over 58,000 in 2024, half of what they were a decade ago. The product lineup is thin, aging, and uninspired. Worse, Nissan is forcing Infiniti dealerships to merge back into Nissan showrooms, sending a clear message that it's no longer seen as a true luxury player. For owners, that means shrinking service options and rapid depreciation. But number 5 shows an even more dramatic fall, from millions of cars sold to just a single product keeping the brand alive. 5. Chrysler, a hollow shell. Few names have fallen as hard as Chrysler. In the early 2000s, it was selling millions. Now, US sales have cratered by over 80%, with the brand reduced to essentially one consumer model, the Pacifica minivan. The 300 is gone, the Voyager is fleet only, and the much-hyped Airflow EV concept was cancelled in 2024. Parent company Stellantis has openly warned that some of its brands may not survive past 2026, and Chrysler looks like the prime candidate for the chopping block. For owners, this means weak resale, fewer dealerships, and rising doubts about the brand's future. Up next at number 4, a giant automaker that looks stable on the surface, but under the hood, chaos is everywhere. 4. Nissan. Volume can't hide chaos. On the surface, Nissan looks stable with over 865,000 US sales in 2024. But scratch deeper and the problems are huge. The Maxima, once a flagship, has seen sales collapse by over 90%. The company has projected global losses in the billions, while the corporate chaos exposed by the 2018 Carlos Ghosn scandal still lingers. Factories are closing, jobs are being cut, and partnerships remain unstable. Unless Nissan pulls off a dramatic turnaround, owners could face collapsing values and uncertainty about long-term support. And now we enter the EV battlefield, where 3 brands show just how fast fortunes can collapse. 3. Lucid Motors, the EV darling in trouble. Lucid was once hyped as the Tesla killer. Instead, it's drowning in losses, over $3 billion in a single stretch, and its stock has crashed more than 95% from its peak. Production delays, software glitches, and quality issues have haunted its 6-figure Air sedan. Today, the company survives almost entirely thanks to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. If that support falters, Lucid could collapse overnight, leaving owners with a luxury EV that no one can maintain or resell. But that's nothing compared to number 2, a company that tried to make a comeback, only to collapse into bankruptcy yet again. 2. Fisker, another failed comeback. The Fisker Ocean SUV was supposed to rewrite the brand's troubled history. Instead, Fisker filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in mid-2024, later shifting into liquidation. Quality problems were rampant. Doors that jammed shut, cars losing power mid-drive, and broken software systems. The NHTSA even opened multiple investigations. With over $1.3 billion in debt and production stopped, owners are left stranded with vehicles that are nearly impossible to repair or sell. And finally, number 1, the most catastrophic collapse of all. 1. Canoe, gone without a trace. At the top of this list is Canoe, a startup that promised futuristic vans and trucks but collapsed spectacularly. Despite big partnerships with Walmart and NASA, the company filed for Chapter 7 liquidation, full shutdown, in January 2025. Assets? Just $50,000. Debt? Over $160 million. The Oklahoma factory never materialized, workers were laid off illegally, and the company effectively vanished overnight. Owners are left with vehicles that have zero warranty, zero service, and zero resale value, the ultimate nightmare scenario. Conclusion: when a car brand fails, it's not just corporate headlines, it's owners left holding the bag. From shrinking dealer networks to complete liquidation, the risk of buying from a fragile automaker is very real. As we've seen, some like Infiniti or Buick may limp along, while others like Fisker and Canoe already collapsed completely. So when you're shopping for your next car, don't just compare horsepower or tech features. Take a hard look at the company's financial health and long-term stability. Because sometimes, the most important spec isn't under the hood, it's whether the brand will still be around to support you. For more breakdowns like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.